AI raises a lot of complex philosophical issues that people definitely want to get their teeth into, so I think I'll start. Okay. The thing I found most interesting was, is this, the character played by William Hurt, in your opinion, is he a benevolent god or a monster?
Okay, of the two choices, benevolent god or a monster. I really didn't see him as either. I think just historically, you know, people have tried to be gods and we're very bad at it.
Right.
And I don't really see him as being a monster either. I see him as a character who, I mean, obviously is very caught up in his world, which it's not even clear if he's chief scientist of this corporation, but this corporation that creates these robots, and that he sees it as a scientific challenge almost. He sees the need. He sees the need of society. He sees the benefit, but he also sees it as a scientific challenge of, this is where we are at the state today of these robots, of course, in the future. But here's the next big challenge. So I see him as kind of serving both roles, right, but not so much a monster.
Do you think, though, that, like with so many scientific advances, the science advances far quicker ahead of the ethical implications of something, whether it's gene, technology, that kind of thing? Because in this case, he can make the boy that loves, but the question is, should he?
Right.
And should he market this as a commercial product? In your sort of world of AI and artificial intelligence, does this issue even get raised, or is it really a question of how to do it?
Well, certainly, I think this movie is great because it brings these questions more to the public awareness. I mean, of course, we have debates within the research communities and the universities and so forth, and certainly the idea of building humanoid robots, even today, we have so much interest from people outside the scientific community to philosophers and theologians because it's a fascinating question. So certainly in these circles, we're already talking about it. I think what's so nice about the movie, of course, is it brings it more out to a public awareness.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, I think what is the most fascinating aspect of it is, even though these are robots, the same questions we, of course, can ask of ourselves. So it's not necessarily even so much that these are robots that this is happening to, but just very question of, what does it mean to be human? Acceptance of the other. I mean, these are timeless questions that you can apply to other people as well as these robots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does the world of AI now, with the rise of this film, I mean, Hollywood is now intruding into a space that was once antiseptic and very sort of philosophical and straightforward. With the marketing campaign that's created so much buzz, unorthodox, online, all that kind of thing, have friends been coming up to you for hints, and have you been at all involved or found yourself unwittingly involved?
Well, I'm obviously involved in that I'm here talking to you.
Exactly.
I've been trying to play it actually pretty low-key. Just because, I would rather that people see it fresh, don't have any preconceived expectations of it. But I mean, there was this big event in April where MIT and Warner Brothers hosted a panel to kind of kick off this idea of, here's this movie, here's the world of AI as it is today, and here's the themes explored, and so forth. So it's starting to be kind of out there already.
Did you talk to the principals at all, like Jude and Haley, about their roles and what?
Well, I met Haley in late April, which is when this MIT Warner Brothers event was, and we talked very briefly. I mean, of course, we're all running around, so it's difficult to really sit down and talk to him. I would love to talk to Jude about, what it was like, in some sense, to play an android and see the world through an android's eyes. I mean, in some sense, he might be the closest bridge, someone like I have, to what the future of these machines might be. Just to get his perspective on it would be fascinating. But I haven't had the opportunity yet to speak with either of them in depth about it, but certainly I would love to.
And I'm curious as to when this film finally comes out, whether it'll spur a whole group of people entering the universities, in particular MIT, for artificial intelligence.
Yeah, no, actually, I mean, I can anticipate, in some sense, one of the largest impacts this movie might have is, the way 2001 essentially created this icon of artificial intelligence of like my advisor's generation of HAL. And even for me, seeing Star Wars as a little girl sparked my imagination, very much shapes the path I took. And I can imagine that when children see this movie, it's going to inspire them and shape their ideas about what machines are, what machines could be, what kinds of technologies they want to develop in the future.
Great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.